Greetings everyone. Myself Dr. Sagar Marathe from Department of Environmental Science, Somaiya Vidyavihar University. We have gathered here to commemorate an important day today, that is World Earth Day 2025. This day is to mark and spread awareness regarding our planet and the protection of our planet. The theme for this year is Our Planet, Our Power, and the main aim is to conserve the energy as far as we can and in any ways which we can. Okay. So in today's session, we are going to meet Mr. Dinesh Joshi, who is one of the partners of Total Recycling Solutions. And we are going to learn about in ways which we can conserve our energy. So one of the theme which we have picked for this day is recycling of our e-waste. So which is also going to translate to conservation of energy as we can. Mr. Dinesh, if we can just talk about your organization, what it is and what it does.
Okay. To start with, thank you for the opportunity that you've given me to come across and share my word. And the next one day is going to be on Earth Day, and each one should realize that how important this day is to our to the universe. So coming from my background, what I do is basically I am into a business of recycling for all type of scrap across pan India. So we are associated with colleges, corporates, manufacturing units, small households across all regions. And what I'm going to do today is share a bit of knowledge about how we take this process ahead, what are the inputs of it, and how we can make it better in the coming future. So once again, thank you for this opportunity, and we can definitely take the question as forward.
So first of all, we would like to understand, is there any difference between e-waste and electronic waste and electrical waste? Because a lot of viewers may be knowing these terms, but they may not know the exact difference between them.
Okay. To explain basically, electronic waste is more often IT related waste which comes in. For instance, your laptop, your desktop, your servers, machines, wires, cables, and all this is termed as electronic waste. Now, when you talk about electrical waste is more often home appliances waste, which you talk about your AC, you talk about your TVs, you talk about your gadgets which are being used over there. So these are more of an electronic use. Okay, so this comes under the electrical segment. Now, if you look at it, both are similar. Be it electrical or be it electronic, both are similar. They come under the category of e-waste. So broadly, I would suggest that it's an e-waste which is generated, but in different segment. Could be in IT or could be in could be in our electrical segment. So both are similarly generated.
Okay. So what is the nature of your business? In that, what exactly do you do? Or your organization?
Yeah. So the nature of the business is basically being recyclers. What we do is we are into dismantling of all IT scrap. Okay. We have several set of businesses. One is into IT scrap, one is into non-IT scrap, one is into office demolition, one is into wet waste, dry waste. So these are the segments that we associate with. So I'll explain to you what is IT e-waste. IT e-waste is basically any waste that comes to the end of dead life. To the end of life, gets converted into waste. So what happens is there is a process that we follow. And that process is a process called dismantling. So what happens is, suppose for an institute like Somaiya, we come across, we collect all the waste, which is then it's taken to the factory. After factory, when once it's taken to the factory, then the dismantling process happens over there. So whatever can be refurbished, get refurbished, whatever can be put into waste and can be converted, gets converted. So that is one area of IT waste. Then non-IT waste you talk about, we do all non-IT types of service like metal, plastic, then there is aluminium, then there is copper, all the things that are not related to IT comes under the non-IT segment. Okay, that is another set of business. Then there is another set of business that our organization does is basically which is into office demolition. So in case of tomorrow, if there is an office which needs to be dismantled, so there is a process. So we follow that process, we handle that carefully, and it's taken step by step. So it's a dismantling type of process for an office. So any office that is shifting or any office that is not related or wants to move out to a larger place, then what happens is basically we dismantle the whole thing. And there is another type of process that we handle is called dry waste and wet waste. Now, dry waste may all your other categories come into place like books, cardboard, papers, and all types of stationery items and all, which comes into dry waste. And wet waste is something your canteen items.
Okay.
Your canteen items, be it your food, be it your cups, be it your thrown away food. So that is composed again. Okay, it's taken to the factory, then it is composed again. So that is how it has been used. So everything is recycled again. So that's the process that we follow.
And how you landed up in the recycling industry?
See, I to give you my background, I was basically working with a online company, and I was heading the HR department over there. I was the head of HR department. But to a time span when there was a lockdown period, I realized the potential of this business. This business, what it can do, and what how one can take it forward, and what is the level. So once I was during my lockdown period, I was reading a survey by McKinsey. So in that survey through McKinsey, it predicted that India is going around by 2035 is going to reach about 5 lakh or 5 million metric ton. So currently we are at 1.2 million metric ton
of e-waste which is generated every year.
Yeah, every year. Okay, already we are at that level. So that is going to. So imagine the potential of this business. Imagine the jobs that is going to get. Imagine the growth that is going to happen. Imagine or the industries that are going to implement, and imagine the sectors that are going to boom. So that's how I decided to divert my career and get into this business, and that's how I ventured into this.
Okay. So in this e-waste, we have looked out and heard about lot of recycling, and lot of many people say कि there is gold मिलता है recycling से या mobile phone में gold होता है. So actually, can you inform or tell our viewers that which all metals can be recovered from this e-waste?
Okay.
And
So
do they happen in your lab?
yeah. So basically, what happens is every system, you take a laptop or you take a desktop or you take a mobile phone, has got a circuit in that. So that circuit has got a lot of metals, be it nickel, be it gold, be it silver, and there are points, those points, which actually format it and make that circuit work. There is copper also. So there is a possibility of all this happening. Okay, but moreover, we don't go for all this. We are basically recycling for an understanding where everybody gets a clean and greener life and has an understandability of in terms of the ecosystem. So we are working towards that. Basically our goal is towards that, Sabir.
So, can you tell us more about the e-waste recycling initiatives of SU, like how we hand over you the waste, and from there, what happens to the
Okay.
waste?
What happens is basically for last 2 years, we have been doing a lot of activities across Somaiya Institute. So when we get any confirmation from the industry or from your head of departments that there is e-waste which has to be taken out. Okay. So what we do is we survey the material. What is the material? Is it a monitor? Is it a desktop? Is it an electrical? Now, electrical, Somaiya has got an electrical division also. So we have picked up materials from that also. Okay. So an expert is sent across. So once the expert is sent across, he does the survey. After the survey is done, then we take the next step forward. We fix a timeline with the college. The college asks us to pick up the material, and once the material is picked up, then it's taken to the factory. Okay. Once it's taken to the factory, then all the dismantling process happens. The dismantling process happens in terms of, If it's a metal which can be reused, we reuse it. If it cannot be reused, then it has to go through a proper channel as per the pollution control board norms. So that's how it is taken place. So similarly in that form of electrical also. Okay, if it's a metal and which cannot be used, then it is completely discarded. Okay.
So since you talked about norms, we would also be interested in knowing who are the organizations from the government who are framing these norms and which norms are currently active for e-waste management.
See, basically, our organization which has a license given by the government, which is your Maharashtra Pollution Control Board, which is MPCB, Central Pollution Control Board, which is CPCB, or which is EPR. Now, EPR is which is recently started by the government, and this has come into effect from last 1 year. The reason why it is come into effect is there is a lot of misuse of e-waste that is happening. So, in order for that not to happen, and there is a process which has been laid down by the government, okay, for all manufacturers, for all dealers, for all recyclers, for all corporates, for colleges, for institutes, there is a process that has been laid down by the government. So that is why this EPR has come into practice. Okay, so what does it do is basically it monitors what is the e-waste going out and what is the benefit the college is getting and how it is processed, whether it is processed in the right manner or whether it is not processed in the right manner. So that is why as per the new law that is coming, the EPR law, it has become or mandatory for every organization to get into EPR.
So, any special tips which you would like to give to our viewers for recycling their e-waste, like how to identify an authentic recycler?
Yeah. So basically, if you want to identify an authentic recycler, all I would say is don't go to kabaddi walas. Okay. Now there's a difference between a recycler and a kabaddi wala. What kabaddi wala does is basically it takes your material, it bangs it on the ground, it removes the metal, it
discard
the plastic, it removes a certain amount of circuits that are there, and that it is resold. Okay, he goes and he resells it. But at our end, what happens is basically we pick up material not only from colleges, not only from corporates, but from household also. Why we are doing this from household is because to educate people. Okay, it's not a matter of money, but education is very important. So once they get, now we have, we were last 1 year, during Diwali, what happens is a lot of homes get cleaning. Yeah. So we had run a survey across, okay, through areas like, from Dadar to Baisar. Okay. And you won't believe, around in a span of around 1 month time, we got about 1,100 households that contacted us in terms of removing waste from their homes. Why? Because there was an education given to them. They were educated. So they knew what was happening, how the waste is going, where the waste is going, how it is getting processed, why it is getting processed. So that education is very important. So one needs to understand the level, how one can reprocess. Then second is, before giving any metal, before giving your mobile phone or laptop or desktop, I would suggest, as a norm, you should take care of your hard disk, because a hard disk has all your important data. It has your photographs, it has your bank accounts, it has your passwords, it has a lot of data. So my suggestion is that you need to be careful with all this. That's what I would suggest.
Okay. So one quick question about you mentioned about that you have switched from your other streams to this area, looking at the potential. So what exactly is the potential of this business for next 5 to 10 years?
See, as I said that today we are in India, we are around 1.2 million metric ton. Okay. Now the potential in India only itself is in the next 5 years down the line is going to be around almost around 5 million metric ton. Now 1 million metric ton is equal to almost around 8 lakh SUVs. 8 lakh SUVs. So you can imagine the amount of bulk amount of scrap that is coming in. Now, all this scrap, now another thing what I want to bring it to analysis, that so much scrap is there, but only 30% of that is getting refurbished, or it is getting in the right process, it is getting recovered. But the balance 70% has no authenticity at all. So that is why the government is trying to push individuals, colleges, and corporates to understand the APR system, to understand how one can, get into the system of recycling in the right manner.
Okay. So, last question for you. To close, can you give any suggestions to all, specifically the youngsters who are, interested or who might become interested in recycling or e-waste recycling business? How to develop themselves as an entrepreneur in this field?
See, I would suggest that being an entrepreneur is excellent. One should go ahead and one should look at potentials. There is a lot of potentials. My or a good suggestion would be, start small but think big. Now think about changing the ecosystems. When I started this business, I was not looking from the monetary point of view. I was looking at changing the ecosystem, because there where I found that there was a gap. Okay, there are so many recyclers, there are so many kabadi walas, there are so many scrap dealers. But the issue over here currently is the nobody's following the ecosystem. And why we are doing this is because to help the ecosystem. That is the reason why I got into that. And one as an individual should understand why he wants to get into this business. Is one, the idea should not be only into money. The idea should be money will follow. There is no problem. Money will follow. But what do you want to change in life? What are you looking to change in life? And from my perspective, I was looking to change the ecosystem, basically, so that everybody starts getting educated. Now, kids in our home, for example, I'll give you a very good example. Today, when you look at your own home, you have so much of electronic waste. You have remote control, which are lying down. You have mobile phones, old mobile, 2, 3, 4, 6 lying in the cupboard. You have wires, you have cables, you have unnecessary things which are just done, thinking that you will use it someday, but it is that someday is not coming back, because what is happening? You are passing that time, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and after 5 years, this has become old, now throw it out. That is what is happening. So once you start taking charge of yourself and understanding your own home first, and then moving out on the outer world, that is going to make a lot of difference. So from my perspective is, for youngsters and for people who want to grow this business, it's a wonderful business. It's an opportunity to grow, and one should look at it. But from perspective that you need to change yourself and change the world around and change the environment.
Right. Thank you very much, sir, for coming here and sharing us with all the information you have related to e-waste recycling and what you do. On this note, I will also urge all of you to go for e-waste recycling as far as possible, because this year's theme is our power, our planet. So we are, as you know, not engaged into generation of power, but at least we can conserve it and convert it from one form to another, so that our planet is safe and we can live a good and healthy life. Okay. So, to end with, I would like to thank Dr. Sagar for giving me this opportunity, and also Dr. Ravish from IQAC Department Director. And I would like to thank this institute. I've been associated with this institute for past 2 years, and across all colleges of Somaiya Institute. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk a little bit on recycling, and to give my inputs, as I've been in this industry for some time. And just to end with, our technology is growing, we are growing, everyone is growing. But I feel that once we understand a little bit more about the recycling sector, definitely is going to be very helpful to ourselves and to the ecosystem as well. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.